Good morning. Welcome back to Terra at Home. Today we're in Milton downtown and we're at BauHound Haus and we're with Ayala, and it's kind of a fun store because it's a little more specific to the pet world in that we're talking more about natural products and Canadian made products, the best that you can.
Yeah.
Right? And why did this all come to be for you?
Well, it started about 8 years ago. We had a little Chihuahua that was always sick. He was always in the vet and they couldn't really figure out why. And it was actually somebody that we met on the street in Toronto that said, you know, you might want to check out his diet and see if that might play into it. And so we started researching and reading a lot, and about a year later we switched his diet, and within a month he was perfect. And he's 8 now, so he's been out of the vet's office for a long time, except for those regular
Isn't it amazing, right? It was simple as changing food, and again, just looking at it, I mean, we know our diet, we have to, what we put in is, you know, what comes out, right? We all know that how it's going to make us feel, so it makes sense to them as well. It
does, and you see dogs just do turnarounds right away when you switch their diet.
And that's the thing, so lots of great dog food here, and also cat food as well, right? But what we really want to focus here today, I know we're just days away from Christmas at this point, but is getting the family together. I mean, when people have a pet, especially when they're going specifically to buy a dog, it's something, it becomes that dog, that boy or little boy or girl becomes part of the family as well, right? And you want the whole family to be part of that, right? And we have lots of really interesting little bits and pieces here, fun toys, and again, just to get the whole family involved, and it's about being active and social as a family. So let's talk about some of the fun contraptions that you can't just find everywhere, right? Okay, where should we start?
Well, these are probably our best Christmas seller because people just love being able to play with their family, with their dog. These are interactive games. Each one is slightly different. It just gives them, it's almost like a puzzle for them. You put food or treats in the different compartments, and they actually have to move the pieces around to get those treats.
Oh, that's cute.
It makes it so that it's an interactive thing. The dogs have to think, and the family gets to sit around and play with the dogs. And it's amazing to see people interacting with their dogs and watching them figure things out. They like, you don't think that your dog's gonna be able to problem solve, but we have lots of people that come in and are like, my dog would never get that. We had this little mini poodle come in once, and the dog, I put it on the ground and she figured it out within 5 seconds.
So funny.
It's amazing.
So it's a bonding experience as well. Right? You're like, you spend time, you have more appreciation for that that little guy, right? Okay, so what about this blue one? The same concept?
It's the same concept. You put treats in it, and this one just works on a different, this is a rotation one, so they have to actually spin it around and get the different treats out. So you can move the bones, it comes with the bones, and you can move the bones to block it so that they actually have to take the bone out in order to spin it, make it more difficult. And then this one is a little bit simpler. You just put the treats or kibble on the inside, and they just have to spin it around, and the treats fall out
to shake them out.
Yeah, it's actually a little maze on the inside. It's called the maze, and it's a maze on the inside, so it makes it a fun way to let them play, and it's not as interactive as some of these ones, but it's a good way to keep them thinking.
Times, right? And, you know, one thing I think a lot of times with dogs is that sometimes people associate with, there are lots of high energy dogs out there, but there are also some very lazy dogs that will just lay there and get chubby. So these are good for exercise to get them moving, and obviously they're going to be motivated, but they'll hopefully be burning more calories than they are actually eating treats.
And people put their breakfast or dinner in them too, and that just makes it so they have to work for their food, and
Oh, that's hilarious. Okay, so what about this black one?
So this is kind of going on the same idea, except it's a little bit simpler. These are actually bowls. These two products are actually bowls for dogs, and you put their kibble in them, and they actually have to move the kibble around on the inside in order to get the kibble to come out. So this is good for dogs that eat too quickly.
Or yes, because some dogs just like gulp their food down, right? And then often it ends up coming back up again.
So these are great for that. And it also just makes mealtime a little bit more interactive and fun. Dogs aren't really meant to just eat something out of a bowl. They're like predators, so they should be hunting for their food.
Don't we, right? We baby them and make it so easy for them sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, but this way they're actually having to play and engage and work for their food.
So they actually would use their little paws or whatever to get in there.
Yeah, or some of them, depending, they'll use their tongues. It's really cute.
So again, not just for little dogs, for big dogs and little dogs, all in. Okay, so let's talk about exercise.
So this line of products is an excellent line of products. It's the FitPaws products, and they have all sorts of balance boards and all sorts of things. So on this one, the dog would be balancing on the wobble part in the center. It started because a lot of dogs have cruciate issues. They'll have to have knee surgeries. So this is a good way to help build up muscle, but it's also great if you have a dog that's overweight. You don't want to take them out and start running with them right away.
Right.
They have to build up the muscle first. So all of these products are really good for getting them training and working, building muscle, and then you can start doing the more intense exercise.
It's gotta be funny when you first put a little dog on one of these.
Yeah.
They're kind of thinking like, whoa. But
they have a lot of fun. You use treats and you make it fun for them. And I've had little puppies playing on those things, and they just love it. And it's a great experience for them. We have all sorts of sewer grates and stuff out on the street, so they get used to things moving under their feet, and then they're not freaked out on the street when it happens.
Smart idea. Okay, so what I'm holding here, we have to. This is kind of a part and parcel, but this is actually a car seat.
It is. You can use it as a car seat, and you can also use it to attach to the front of a bike. So it actually has a little mechanism on the back here.
That's hilarious.
And this part actually attaches to your front handlebars, and you just clip it.
Yeah, so it's your little doggy basket.
Yeah, this part comes out, and it goes right back on.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So you can use it on the front of a bike, and you can also use it as a car seat. You can also just put it in the house if they like.
Zip him right up in there so he doesn't jump out.
And it's nice and secure, yeah, as opposed to like just a plain old basket. It's
Imagine
secure.
that on the front of your bike and your little guy's riding along with you, and there's pockets just for extra little.
Yeah.
It's literally buying a dog can be like buying or having a baby, right?
Yeah,
and you're having one of those too.
Yeah, I have.
But having a child, it really is, because there are so many products and so many things to think about. And some people don't have children, and that's what they have. They have dogs, and they become their babies.
Well,
right?
up until this point, that's exactly what our family's been like.
Oh yeah, this is going to be interesting. I see the shift. But again, this is actually an awesome idea, and we have to show the little chariot out in front. So again,
so this is the same company actually that makes that, and it's actually an attachment for the back of the bike. So you can use it to have your dog come on long bike rides. We have lots of customers that come in, and their dogs are older. They want to be active with them, but they can't go as long as they would like to bike ride for. So they'll let them trot along next to the bike, and then they'll hop in there when they're tired.
See, that's good, and I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people will say, well, dogs are supposed to walk.
Yes.
But they're not supposed to go forever and ever until their paws bleed, right?
Exactly.
There's a time. We can't run forever, and they can't either.
And we know for ourselves when we're comfortable and when we're getting tired, whereas it's harder to judge. Lots of dogs will keep going just because they're there. But this way, you can give them the option. You can stop and say you want to hop in. If they do, they can.
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And of course, besides all this, there's all the millions of sweaters and all the accessories that you could possibly need to take care of your animal.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys are great with recommendations for food with animals because of your personal experience with that.
Yeah. I'd say that's about 50% of what we do in the store is just talking to people about diet and what their dogs need and what they don't need, and getting them healthy. And
back on track. I think that's a great idea. So a reminder, again, we're in downtown in Milton, and again, lots of really great ideas. Again, this is maybe the time when you're doing your last minute shopping for your pooch, and this is a perfect place to do it. Or your cat. There's some back there for cats, right?
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Ayala.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, that's it for now. We'll have more TERRA home later.
TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning. Welcome back to TERRA at Home. I'm here with one of my favorite people, Gillian Love from the LCBO in Millcroft. And we're just days away from Christmas, so we're so excited because you guys always come up with the best cocktail ideas for people and these last minute stop-ins. And of course, there's going to be still a lot of hosting going on for the next little while.
There will be, and we have the latest cocktails that are part of our holiday guide. So you can come in and pick up a holiday guide. We've actually done 25 cocktails, but today we're only going to showcase 5.
Because that tires me out.
So the thing that I just want to mention, Leslie, is that there's such a trend towards buying more luxury spirits now.
Yes.
We find that the younger generation is not drinking as much, which is nice, but they're buying more luxury spirits. So it's really nice to see. And the parents are kind of following their trend.
Isn't that funny, right?
Yeah, so you know, you're having a party, there's lots of themed parties going on out there, the Great Gatsby, the kind of the Prohibition parties, like there's different fun themes that you can do for the holidays.
Yes, absolutely.
So we've come up with 5 cocktails. I'm gonna get you to make the first one.
We're actually making 4 though, right?
Or 4. Yes, we are, sorry.
Okay, so we're gonna do this one?
So we're gonna do this first cocktail.
Okay.
It's called the cinnamon Cosmo. So it's a spin on the Cosmopolitan. So back to the traditional cocktail, but we're taking a little bit of a spin on it for the holidays. So what we're going to do, Leslie, is you're gonna add 1.5 ounces of the Stoli vodka, the clear spirit there, into the cocktail glass.
Oh yeah, over here.
And make sure your cocktail, your shakers are filled with fresh ice, lots of ice. Then we're gonna add 1/2 ounce of simple syrup that we've come up with, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. That's a
because you're gonna have flavored
simple syrup. They're so easy to make. 1/2 ounce of lemon juice to give it that balance, and then the rest top up with the cranberry juice. So you're going to just put the clear glass on top and we'll give it a shake.
Leslie.
You can do it. You can do it. So you're gonna shake it up.
Okay.
That's good.
And you do this, right?
Yeah. And then we're gonna strain into a nice cocktail glass and garnish with, it's rimmed actually with sugar and lemon juice, and it just gives a lovely, festive, beautiful color. Garnish with that. You can garnish with cranberries, or you can garnish with this cinnamon stick, which is really, really nice. Very festive.
Very nice. Okay.
Yes. The next cocktail is called the Spice Orange Icicle, and it's made with Grand Marnier. So what holiday season would be complete if you didn't use Grand Marnier? You have to use that. So 1.5 ounces. Well, actually, we're going to take 3 lemon wedges, and you're just going to squeeze them into the glass.
Oranges, Gillian?
Or sorry, oranges. Squeeze them into the glass.
Okay, and you're just going to leave them in there, right?
Yeah, you're just going to leave them right in there. Now, if you want, you can muddle them. You can add a muddler and just squish them down if you want, but squeezing them is fine. Okay. It just adds that nice color. Then you're going to add 1.5 ounces of Grand Marnier. Okay. Again, that's our base. So this is our base spirit is our Grand Marnier. Then you're going to add our sweet component, which is our simple syrup. And that's this. And that's a clove simple syrup. And then the orange juice, Leslie, 1.5 ounces to 2 ounces, whatever you prefer. And you're going to garnish that drink with a star anise, and they smell terrific. Beautiful. So they're really, really festive and lovely for the holidays.
I like you're really coming up with different, you know, people have different sort of flavor tastes.
Yes.
And so different flavor profiles for everybody along the way,
Very much so.
Right?
Different textures, different flavors. So there's a lot of different, you know, for everybody's palate. Nobody's palate is the same. No. And there's, you know, sweeter drinks, more sour drinks.
Exactly, right.
And everyone has different tastes. This one is for, it's kind of like, you can make this into a hot toddy if you wanted, if you have a cold, or you can serve it cold, like chilled.
Yes, okay.
So what I'm going to do is this drink is called the XO honey tea, and it's made with XO brandy. So I'm going to add, I'm going to open because I didn't get the ounce, but I'm going to add 1.5 ounces of brandy into my cocktail shaker. And don't free pour if you can help it. I'm just doing it because I'm professional at it.
Because
at least I like to think so.
You're fully licensed to do so. See, I'm not allowed to do that stuff.
Then we're going to add about a teaspoon of honey.
Oh, wow.
In here.
I was going to say, that's not simple syrup. That's honey.
That's honey. Then we're going to add lemon juice for to balance the sweetness, because again, you have to have that balance of sugar and acidity. Okay. And then we've got chamomile tea, so this will put you right to sleep.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to add 2 to 3 ounces of chamomile tea. You can make this warm if you want, but I'm making it chilled. Okay. So we're going to shake it up.
Well, that'd be interesting. Yeah, I think if you had it warm after being out maybe in the ski hill or something like that, that it would definitely put you to sleep.
Oh yeah, definitely. So then we're going to strain into a little glass, or you can do it into a little teacup if you wanted, and we're going to garnish with some a lemon peel and some cranberry and maybe a cherry. So that's a really nice idea. And also in the holiday season, you don't have to do all of these drinks. It doesn't take a lot to make a bar. Just a simple vodka, maybe a whiskey, and do a signature cocktail for your guests. Like
that's a nice idea. People like that.
Just one drink that they, you know, you don't have to do all of these, but these are just good ideas.
Exactly.
So the next one we're going to do is called the 40 Nights, and it's made with 40 Creek cream.
We've been talking a lot about 40 Creek. They are like really doing some major damage on their competitors, aren't they? And they're right down the QEW, so that's pretty awesome. They certainly are,
and they're really fabulous. This is as good as any Bailey's.
I love it because it's not as sweet.
It's not as sweet, and it's just really nice texture and flavor.
Yes.
So you can put this in your coffee. What we're doing is we're somewhat making a peppermint. We're doing peppermint, 1.5 ounces of the 40 Creek cream. We're doing 1/2 ounce of peppermint schnapps, and then we're going to top with hot chocolate. So we're going to add some hot chocolate.
And that's where this helps that it isn't as sweet, because now, you know, if you have the sugarier ones, it just starts to get too much.
Yeah. But what we're going to do, this is more of an after dinner. We're going to add some whipped cream, and then you can garnish with a little bit of candy cane on the top.
It's so fun to do this stuff, right? I mean, I know, like, sometimes it's fun, like, even on, like, on Christmas Eve, like, a lot of people gather and just make their own drinks and just hang out.
That's right. Yeah, great for watching the Santa Claus parade.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right.
So lots of options. So again, as long as you are balancing off those four, you know, those four components.
Really, that's the key. There's 4 components to making a cocktail. There's the base spirit, there's a filler, which is your pop or your juice. Then there's the a sour component, like a citrus to balance. And then there's the simple syrups, which I wanted to touch base on simple syrups.
Yes, quickly before we go, do it.
Simple syrups, the easiest thing to make in the world. They're super crazy. You can make them in any way you want with any flavor. All you do is add a cup of water, a cup of sugar. You don't even have to stir it in a pot and bring it to a boil anymore. You can just warm water, and sugar is fine. You can add cinnamon, you can add vanilla, you can add berries, juniper, you can add clove, nutmeg, any flavor that you want. You let it come to a room temperature, and you leave it in the fridge. We bought these at the dollar store. Honestly, you can give these as a Christmas gift with a bottle with someone, you know, to someone for the holidays. Great
and it's
idea.
just a really great starter. And again, if you already have a flavored syrup, it's just already going to add another sort of layer of flavor to your drink.
And it does. It adds that nice. It's a substitute for the sweetness. So instead of a liqueur, you can add a simple syrup, and it just gives that. It just enhances the flavor of the cocktail so much more.
Well, I have to thank you and thank Millcroft LCBO for having us again. And
Always
Merry Christmas
fun.
to you, my darling.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to all of you, and we'll be back with more TERRA at Home right after this.
TERRA, where color lives.
Heritage Perennials. Look for us in the blue pots.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home. I'm here with Chef Iain, and we're in a different location today. We're at the Go Cooking Kitchenette to Hamilton Spectator, so thanks to them for letting us borrow their kitchen right now. But we have it all festive for you, and we are days away from Christmas, so we've decided to put together a nice little breakfast idea. Everyone likes to gather around in the morning, pour a cup of coffee, and get breakfast rolling before they open presents, right?
Very exciting time, just a few days left till Christmas, and one of my favorite recipes, one of my favorite morning recipes is lemon ricotta pancakes. Relatively easy to make, a little requirement with some egg whites, whipping them to nice stiff peaks. But other than that, it's a traditional pancake recipe through and through.
So that part's a little labor intensive, but
just a little wrist action, but we'll be okay. So first and foremost, we've got 1 cup of ricotta cheese, that gets put into our bowl. And we're going to mix in 4 egg yolks. Without further ado, So nice, rich recipe.
Now, do you have to let the ricotta warm up at all to room temperature or anything?
Really great question. Yes, I did.
Okay.
Both my ricotta cheese and my eggs, I always bring to room temperature.
Okay.
Much easier to work with. To which I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of sugar, because everything tastes better with sugar.
It does.
Some of my homemade vanilla bourbon. Always tastes great from pancakes and everything good.
That sounds good.
And just a pinch of salt. And again, we're just going to continue to incorporate. And bring out one of my favorite utensils is a microplane, and this is just going to take off the lemon zest and leave the white pith behind.
Okay.
It was originally a woodworking tool.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So.
And that's the thing, you don't want to get that white part, right? Because it starts to get, is it bitter?
That's the bitter part of the lemon.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. So it is the zest of 1 full lemon that we're going to use, and lovely fragrance. I can already start to smell it.
I have actually never had lemon ricotta pancakes before. I've never had any type of lemon in my pancakes. It's always been more, apple or banana or cinnamon or that type of thing. So this should be different.
Just nice and fresh.
And these are light, fluffy pancakes? Or are they thin?
Very light, fluffy pancakes. As I said, we're going to incorporate some egg whites. And the most important thing is when we're doing a pancake mixture, you never want to over-process. You never want to over-mix.
Okay.
They really need sort of, just to bring it to its uniform mixture, homogeneous mixture.
Right.
You don't want to, again, sort of
Because then that's when they start to they get tough, right?
They start to get tough and they start to resemble more of a flapjack rather than a pancake.
Okay.
So I'm going to incorporate my...
I thought flapjack was just like an American term or something, but...
I just associate a flapjack with a much
kind
tougher
of a more of a... Okay.
So I've incorporated 1 cup of flour and some melted butter. I'm going to add that in. And like I said, we're not going to
this is the point where you don't want to overmix, right?
Exactly. So we're going to bring this through. It should be pretty easy. And then we're going to start to fold in our egg whites. And again, you're going to notice when you mix it through that you have a ribbon of egg white, which is okay, because again, it's going to make it nice and light and airy. Okay. I've got my spatula.
So these are just egg whites only that you whip. There isn't anything else added to these, because everything else is added to this, right?
Just a metal bowl, 4 egg whites. Again, wrist action. You just keep beating until it forms nice stiff peaks.
Okay. And so that's the perfect part, is that you have the 4 yolks in here and the 4 whites there. Nothing's going to waste.
Exactly. So, and we do it in increments.
Okay.
Like I said, this is the only part that tends to be labor intensive, and we're just folding the mixture in.
Okay.
Okay. And then we're going to bring it again, and then we'll get this bowl out of the way so we can have a proper look at our mixture. There we go.
Okay, so have you ever tried making these with orange?
Absolutely.
Probably
you can do any sort of zest. Yeah, orange as well. And again,
it doesn't sound the same as it doesn't sound as good. But it's possible.
It is.
I just think the lemon sounds fantastic.
No, it's a nice, refreshing sort of different variation of pancake. And like I said, I don't want to incorporate too much after that.
That's hard for people though, because you have this tendency where you just want to mix. Like, I just want to finish mixing that, but don't do it.
Nope, hold back. Again, with the egg whites, it's going to leave little pockets of air, which will bring some steam into the pancakes and lift them up and make them nice and
okay, so that brings us to the point of actually cooking these. So, pan is supposed to be very hot, right?
Pan, I'm going to have at a medium-high heat. Okay. I'm going to incorporate my butter.
See, that's why these are just getting better, because you have like all the important elements in there.
We don't
butter,
skimp out.
Sugar, and
exactly. So I bring it up to medium-high heat, and again till I get that nice sizzle, and then of course I'm going to turn my heat down.
Okay.
So yeah, and I just get a small little ladle, and we'll start to.
Yeah, so they're just going to be like soaking up in that butter there. That's why they taste so amazing too.
Exactly, for sure.
They're going to have that little crisp around the edge.
That's right. A little warmed maple syrup, maybe with some bananas in the maple syrup is always nice.
That's what I was going to ask you. So will you actually still use syrup on these?
Oh, absolutely. Maple syrup is definitely a staple with all your pancakes.
Okay.
Most definitely. But again, add some fresh fruit. You've got your pancakes, some warmed maple syrup with some bananas perhaps is always a nice accompaniment.
I think it's key to warm your maple syrup.
It is. It is.
It's just like makes it way better.
Yeah.
So they're so funny because they kind of they look so thick and sort of, you know, you wouldn't really expect you know, this to be pancake mix right now. So I'm curious.
It's a little on the stiffer side. Yeah, for sure. All you're going to do is just start to wait until it starts to crisp around the sides and starts to get a little golden, and you start to see a little air pockets coming through, and that'll be the time to turn.
That's the time. Okay, just around the edges, right?
Just around the edges.
And then you flip. Now, how do you know on the other side? It's not as long on the other side.
It's not as long as the other side, just till you bring it to the nice golden brown temperature. If you're doing a large batch, what I would suggest is preheat your oven to 200 degrees, have a baking tray, maybe a cooling rack just on top, so if you're making them in like larger batches for your big family, you've got your warming door set aside.
Well, that's the thing, right? Your pan's only so big, and if you have a bunch of family there, it's funny, I was actually going to ask you that, so that's what you do, you just kind of slip them all in there and just keep
slip them all in. It's all about timing. Absolutely.
Very good. These look really interesting. I'm like so excited to try these. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll continue to let these cook through the break, and then we're going to come back and we'll plate it out for you, and at some point I'm going to have to try these. I'm excited.
Me too.
All right, we'll be right back.
Thanks.
TERRA, where color lives.
You've sat under them and built forts in them. You've swung from them and fell out of them. You've even fallen in love under them. Trees have always held a special place in our hearts and memories. A natural beauty, trees will grow with you and your family and bring color and nature into your world. For your assurance of quality, look for trees and shrubs with the Medallion plant tag. Medallion plants, locally grown, the pride of Niagara.
Good morning, welcome back to TERRA at Home, and when we last left you just before break, we were frying up our pancakes here.
We were talking about Christmas morning, one of my favorite recipes, lemon ricotta pancakes. We incorporated a cup of ricotta cheese, 4 egg yolks. We incorporated some salt, sugar, thank you so much, some bourbon vanilla,
I think that's key. The bourbon vanilla is the part that
always makes for a much better breakfast. I agree. Bourbon vanilla. Fabulous, wonderful, round out flavors, some flour, and we incorporated in our egg whites. We took the time, a few minutes, to whip the egg whites till it reached a nice stiff peaks, and then we gently folded and then incorporated into our mix. And what we talked about a lot last time was we don't want to over-incorporate, we don't want to mix it too much.
Definitely
we actually made a note that, you know, it was rather sort of a very thick mixture that went into the pan.
But look at how great they look.
Yeah, with the ricotta cheese, it's really nice, light and airy.
And they look amazing.
Thank you. And I'm getting a nice golden brown color.
And I'm liking that crisp again because you put lots of butter in the pan too.
Everything tastes better with butter, exactly.
Well, as always, you can get any of these recipes online at terragreenhouses.com, which is so fun because you can go back and search these recipes and have them handy for you at any given time for next Christmas too. Because this one's coming up. We got some prep to do. We got some grocery shopping to do.
I still have to shop. You kidding? Yes.
Woo, of course you do. Not going to say why. Okay, so again, light and fluffy, warm maple syrup.
Little warm maple syrup if you wanted to incorporate some fresh fruit, some bananas even with the warm maple syrup. Delicious.
Make it a bit of a spread.
Make a bit of a spread. And we also talked about a large number of pancakes. Talked about keeping the oven at a nice warm temperature, about 200 degrees, a cooling rack on top of a baking sheet, and again you can start to get a little assembly line going.
Yeah, because there are a lot of distractions on Christmas morning.
Yeah, a few, just a few.
Thanks, Chef Iain, that's fun. All right, Merry Christmas to all, and thanks again to the Hamilton Spectator for letting us use their kitchen.
Merry Christmas.
TERRA, where color lives.